What's good? Let me know if you can hear me or not. I'm having some technical difficulties. And Roz, trust me, you don't want to poke the bear. I thought you would learn your lesson from them football tickets. He said the internet bill is due. You don't want to poke this bear over here, partner. Some people never learn. What's good? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Wyatt Live 1 p.m. It is 1:30 where I'm at right now, 1:29, 1:30 now. And I apologize for being late, but I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why you weren't getting sound and you weren't able to hear me or whatever and all that, I wasn't coming today. I got a flight to catch, and I just plugged up and was like, I got a couple few hours before I need to get to the airport. And let me go ahead and talk to the folks. I still haven't packed a bag, but let me be honest with you. Packing bags is not the same for me that it is for most people. I'm probably the most, especially when I'm going home. I am the lightest packer ever. All right, and what I mean by that is I carry one carry-on bag. Actually, I had two bags. I have my like a, I don't know, my little carry satch or whatever you want to call it, like a book bag type thing. And then I carry a carry-on. And when I get off the plane, I got a backpack on and my carry-on, and I'm done. I'm a very light packer. I don't carry a lot of clothes. As y'all can see, I really only wear hoodies. Occasionally, I wear t-shirts, of course. But to be honest with you, I don't wear a lot of flashy clothes. I don't wear a lot of clothes unless I'm working. And my closets hold those. I mean, the two closets that I have the suits that I need. So I don't have to carry suits. The only time I carry suits is when I'm doing an out of town business meeting outside of wherever I live. So I'm a very short, light packer. I have a cosmetic kick, if you want to call it that. I don't know what do fellas call it when we have our toothbrush and toothpaste and you know what I'm saying. We got my little essentials. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. So I don't travel with a whole lot of bags. I really don't. If you ever see me at the airport, you might think I work there. I'm like, nah, bro. I just got I just got off the flight. I'm on my way home or something of that nature. That all being said and done, thank you for being here. Short show today. Let's get as much in as we possibly can. I want to clear up some things from yesterday. Oh, yeah, I got to clear up some shit from yesterday. Got to clear up some things from today, possibly. I didn't really listen to the radio, so I don't have any bullets for it. I don't have any, what y'all call smoke. I don't have any content or whatever you want to call it from the radio. I don't think it was any different today than it was yesterday and the day before and last week. Matter of fact, a decade ago, other than it's Veteran Day. So I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. And that goes for all those that were in the military, all those that were that had the real jobs in the military and the ones that had the fake ass jobs in the military. Hey, salute to y'all. I've never been in the military. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and down and clown somebody that served the country. But I know all y'all didn't have no real ass jobs in the military. When others was getting shot and shooting and shit, some of y'all was sitting back slapping chili in the pot, and you know what I mean, folding papers and shooting paper clips and all that old shit. You wasn't out on that battlefield, but that still, you served your part. You served your part in for the country. So I'm not mad at you, and I'm not gonna make fun of it. But let's be real. I don't know too many people that was out on that battlefield shooting them winning shots. You know what I mean? How many of y'all got teardrops? I'm just asking. I'm just asking for those that inquire, because everybody you see these old heads that be riding around with these damn hats on, and they got Vietnam War and shit like that. I mean, did you kill somebody? I'm just curious. I mean, even my family. Did you kill a motherfucker out here? Did you shoot somebody? Were you in the woods? Or was you like back at the spot, you know, doing some other job? I think of that sometime. Now, one of my favorite movies in life is Tuskegee Airmen. Okay, I love historical movies like that that are, you know, that somewhat tell the truth, because you know that people, you know how these movie producers and shit are. They got to sell it. So when you sell, like for instance, in Tuskegee Airmen, remember when the brother went over there and found him one of them European girls from over there, and they ended up, hooking up. Do you know how unrealistic it was for him to be in the air, riding in his airplane, and her being down on the ground, folding clothes and putting it on the they had it out on the clothesline. They wash clothes like we used to do in the hood. Wash the clothes, put it out on the clothesline, the air and dry. And okay, Red Tails. Thank you, DC. It was Red Tails, right? But it was about the Tuskegee Airmen or something of that nature, right? But it was Red Tails. You're right. That's just not believable that he was up in the air, maybe 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet, I don't know. And he was riding by, and he see her putting clothes on the clothing line. And she see him, and they get eye contact. And he end up hooking up with her. That messed the movie up for me. That just wasn't right. I mean, how did you know that was her? How did she know that was him? That lost me. A well-written movie has to be well-written from start to finish for me to stay interested in it. But I really like Red Tails. I believe it was like Tuskegee Airmen type of story. It was a squadron of black pilots that was treated like shit, weren't accepted, the normal shit. And then they end up doing something special for the United States of America and killing some squads of the ops and getting recognition 100 years later or some old shit like that. The normal non-appreciative stories, the normal shit we go through, the normal shit that we normally see. And you feel great coming out of the movie theater, and you feel proud to be black, and you feel proud of our our heritage and our ancestors. You feel good about that shit. And now you mad at everybody else. I'm just saying, that's the normal right. It's the normal right. I'm still waiting for them to start doing movies on executives, black executives, millionaires that started from our neighborhoods. And now they're running their own companies and they're doing multi-million-dollar deals across this country, across the world. I'm waiting for documentaries. I'm waiting for a movie to come out. I'm waiting for that. I've seen enough Emmett Till movies. And what I mean that I don't mean movies that are just like Emmett Till. I'm talking about 3 or 4 renditions of Emmett Till. They got budgets. Hollywood got budgets for that. But they don't have budgets for these executive meetings, these executive movies that I'd like to see. People that started at 1335 John Street, started down on York Street, started in Bond Hill, started in, College Park, Georgia. I want to see some of that. I want to see some of that real. I want to see where these guys come from. I want to see, how did you make it as an executive at Coca-Cola and then start your own aluminum can business? And now you have multi-million-dollar business that you're serving, and you are a vendor for Coca-Cola. John Lee Lewis. See, we don't hear about them stories. We don't hear about the everyday working man and now his family and his daughters. Actually, he has 2 sons and a daughter who are actually working in his business, and it's going to be passed on, generational wealth. I need those. I need movies like that. So when we walk out of the movie theater, we feel like, yes, I can. I can do that. He did it. Why can't I? I want that type of motivation when I come up out of a movie theater. I don't want to continuously feeling like, this is not to crap on the history. But while I'm sitting back crying about some shit that happened and I got to watch 4 or 5 renditions of it, every other year they get a new one, bring in different people to play the parts. Why aren't we showing the progression? Why aren't we showing our guys that's out here? Show me a story of a brother that went to the joint, turned his life around and became a millionaire. Show me that. I want that. I want that. I want to see the mother who was a crack addict, a drug addict, turned her life around, and she opened up her own coffee shop and it went global. I want to see that because they exist. Why don't we see that? Yeah. I mean, that's why I told y'all a couple years ago when I started Wyatt Live that I think Tyler Perry owes us, because we support him. He owes us stuff like that. I'm tired of seeing Medea and all that old shit with the dresses and everybody. It's cool to have a laugh, and he has his lane. I'm not criticizing him. I appreciate his business hand. I appreciate the fact that he has the land. He bought he did what he did. I appreciate all of that, but I need more. I need more writers. I need, you got Cicely Tyson Avenue down there. You got, you got Oprah Winfrey Avenue and all these buildings and Spike Lee building and all that down at Tyler Perry Studios. I need these guys to start coming out with some different stuff, some modern day success. Show me some of that. That's what I want to see. I don't know about y'all. That's just where I'm at with it right now. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Y'all know Fridays are like tough for me because number one, I say things and then I got to lick my wounds over the weekend. That I got the red mic on today. This might be a good one. Now, I don't know. I might lose a few. But now let me just say this to you about yesterday. E-Man on his show. Oh, I think he just logged in. E-Man, are you here? Y'all know I sent him I asked him to send. Y'all told me at the end of the show yesterday that he said he was going to go in on me. Let me see if I got something here. Let me just see, because I want to make sure that what I'm saying right here now is not going, I have to eat my words. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure I'm not going to eat my words here. Let me cut my lights on over on this side so I can see myself. Okay. Okay, E-Man says, I'm here. I was waiting for an invite from you. He said, I sent the invite, bro. Where? You sent it to the moon. You didn't send it to my system here. Yeah, okay, Vicky Hamilton said Pursuit of Happiness. That was Will Smith when they were living in the bathroom. Yeah, I want to see that. That movie's like 10 years old. Probably older than that. Wait a minute. Oh, Dominique says, Wyatt, what do you have to say about the Keke Palmer situation? I tell you what, do me one favor real fast, Dominique. You hear? Do me one favor. And this is real. Just relax 1 second. Shut your eyes with me. Close your eyes with me. You with me? Hold on, let me take the. Close your eyes with me. If you're driving, don't do it. You can peek a little bit if you're driving. Okay, you calm? Because Dominique, we go at it. Dominique and I, we tend to tongue wrestle. You there with me, Dominique? Close your eyes, relax, put your hands up. What do you see? What do you see in front of you with your eyes closed? I don't see nothing. And that's what I got to say about Kiki or whoever the hell, Kiki Kaka and Wee Wee and all the rest of them Wawas. I don't have nothing to say about that. I don't care. What makes you think I care about some damn DD or CC or Wee Wee or Kiki? Don't care nothing about that. Stop playing. It's Friday. Close your eyes. What you see? Nothing. That's how I feel about it. Now get mad at me, send me a DM, and go off on me so we'll really have something to fight about. Ha! Told you I was going to get the last laugh. Dominique. All right, I will say something about Kiki later. I don't know shit about their situation. I just know Kiki ain't no different than Wee Wee and TT. That's all I can tell you. The same shit. She just a baby mama now, right? She said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you some time, Dominique. I was going somewhere else, but now I'm gonna give you a little bit of time with it." She says, "I mean, this is what she said. She says, I mean, you had so much to say when he was talking about how she's mother. Now, how she's a mother. Now he putting his hands all on her. Well, first of all, everybody here on White. Seriously, Dominique, everybody know. Everybody know how I feel about the domestic violence thing. My mother went through a little bit of that, so I had this little thing inside of me about domestic violence. So, I don't condone the little dude putting her hands on that old shit. But I ain't gonna sit here and say that girl, is totally innocent, and that young man is totally innocent. Whatever they going through, I don't know nothing about. I know what we talked about last time. Y'all wanted me to talk about it, so I gave you a little bit about it. But I don't care nothing about no damn Kiki, Jada. I don't really care about them people like that. They're not fixing anything in this world that I'm working on. We working on some other stuff. I ain't got it. I ain't got the answer for them. She's no different than every other girl that got a boyfriend and they not married and they having children and they putting hands on one another. She doing shit in public to disrespect him. He ain't having it. All this old shit. And I told y'all out the gate, whoever make the money run shit. And it go back to all that too. She make the money. He don't do shit. He just a baby daddy. He's typical. So I mean, what you want me to say? Yeah, I mean, what's do I have an answer? Yeah, don't fuck with bums. Both of I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's the answer. She ain't got no business with a baby, with a dude that's not willing to be her husband. And all that old type of shit. Do y'all really want me to go there today with it? I got some other shit to talk about. I mean, she's just becoming a statistic. And he's another statistic. He going through a system and it's going, I mean, nobody forced that system on him. He brought it on himself, putting his hands on her. So what else? I mean, is this like some new shit? This is what we see every day in court. Every day you got dudes lined up in the domestic violence. They even got their own section on the docket. City domestic violence, county domestic violence. Same shit every day. Guess who they always beating up? Baby mamas. I very seldom hear somebody say this in that line. Get mad at me if you want to, but y'all open this can of worms. I very seldom see a husband and a wife downtown on some domestic violence shit. Like when the man come out and he's being brought out by the bailiff to see the judge, and the lady show up. Very seldom, 1 out of 200 times, that it's gonna be his wife that's sitting there talking about we had a misunderstanding. I want him out. I don't want to press no charges, because that's how the shit go. They very seldom be like, yeah, I want a TPO. I'm scared. I want him locked up. I want to keep him away from me and my children. That's a very unusual statement made by someone who just told the police the night before, I hate him. He threw my head through the window. He threw me down the steps. He bust my nose. Take his ass to jail. Then they show up the next day and they say this. Your Honor, we just had a misunderstanding. I didn't tell the police nothing. Like the judge don't have the damn 527 right in front of him, which is the police report. He has it right in front of him of what you said. And then you signed it. I don't care nothing about no Kiki. I don't care nothing about none of that type of shit. For real. Blame Usher. Blame Usher. Fellas, if you ever go to Vegas, stay out of that Usher concert hall. If you got your girl with you, he might grab her. You might be the next DV waiting and see what your bond is in front of a judge. But when y'all get home, you're going to have a problem with your woman, ain't you? Because she going to say, why don't you act more like him? And I'm going to tell y'all something right now, ladies. That is the worst thing you could say to a grown-ass man. You might be able to get away with that with a young man, a young boy. But a man, the last thing you want to do, ladies, is say, and some of y'all do that shit. And y'all, I don't know if you do it because you really want your man to be like somebody that you don't really know and you only see occasionally and you think that person got it going on a little bit better. Or are you saying it to really hurt your man's feelings and you know it's a stab? You know it's a jab and a stab at that brother. Are you doing it for that reason? Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, Stephen Speed, I'm gonna read that here in a second. Let me see what Dominique said, and then I'm gonna move on, I promise. She says, I'm just saying because you were all on his side in his defense all before. Okay, say I was, just for argument's sake. Just for argument's sake, Dominique, you say I was all on his side. Was I on his side for hitting his woman? Was I on his side for the things that we talking about now? Or was I on his side for a different situation? See, okay, so just say that, okay. All right, let's just say that what you're saying is true. I don't necessarily remember being on his side. I remember defending his position, but that don't mean I agree with everything he said or what he did during that situation. But I wouldn't want my wife or woman or girlfriend or whoever, baby mom, if we're in a situation, I wouldn't want her out doing the things that she was doing with those little bitty clothes on and, twirling and all twisting and all. I wouldn't have wanted that. That's just me as a man. And if you call it insecurity, that's fine. But at the same time, I don't condone him putting his hands on him if that is true, if that's what he did. If that's how he solves his problems, it's not right. Okay? So now let me move on off that. Stephen Speed, I'm sorry, hold on. Tracy, she said if she was that scared and he was that abusive, then the restraining order should have been filed when she was throwing that ass and making videos with Usher. Is that coming from a woman? Thank you, sis. That's coming from another woman. If she was scared of him, she would be doing scared ass shit out here. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Ladies know what I'm talking about. Y'all shell up. Y'all shell up when y'all in abusive relationships. And every man who run up on you and see you out on the streets, they can tell you in an abusive relationship by how you won't even look another man in the eyes. You're afraid to talk to another man because this other dude that's beating your ass got you manipulated too. And men, real men, now a dude that do that to women, he can also see it. But a real man ain't gonna want to deal with you because he know you broke up. He know you broke inside. He know you defeated on the inside. Now a dude that's gonna do it to you just like the last dude did, he'll bring you in. He'll bring you in and be like, oh, baby, I'm better than that. Come on now. A real man is not going to convince you that you shouldn't be with this dude that's abusing you because he already know you broke. If you're not willing to leave that dude for him doing what he doing to you, a real dude he really don't want you because he gonna have to, it's like he gonna have to reconstruct you and he's gonna have to go through way too much mental and too much shit to bring you back to life. And it's just, a lot of men just don't want to put that kind of work in. So that's kind of like my opinion on that. But now let me go here. Vincent Jones says this T stuff is petty. Exactly. So what I'm going to do is instead of talking to T about it, I'm just going to bring it to the crowd, bring it to the people of Kiki's fans and stuff like that. Let this be a learning Let this be a learning lesson. But of course, we don't learn off other people's situations. We don't really learn off other people's situations because um, we're a revolving door of the nonsense. It's pretty obvious. Hold on. Let me see. Stephen Speed, I wanted to get to what you said, brother. He said state of the Cincinnati public schools address was last night. Any info? I don't have any info on that type shit because I mean, okay, they said the same thing last night as they said 2 years ago. How about that? Now I know some people will be like, "Oh, see, Wyatt, that's not fair." Actually, some people who really love to use these words like hater and shit like that, they'll say, "Oh, Wyatt, that's some hater shit for you to say that." You know what I'm saying? But I go by consistency. Like what we were talking about yesterday, consistency. Whenever I see something consistently wrong, then I think that it's meant to be that way. Consistency is the art. It's an art. So whenever I see something that's going in the wrong direction and it stays that way, like for instance, I mean, let's take that abusive woman. If you're consistently getting into bad relationships with men that beat you, it's because you draw that in. Like I said, a real man that don't want a woman like that is not even really attracted to you. The only thing that's attracted to you is men that know that you're weak for that type of behavior. So that's why you keep attracting that. And then you walk away from the situation or stay in those situations thinking all men act like that. No, the only men that act like that are the men that you attract. I ain't never had no domestic violence charge put on me. That don't mean that all the fellas that do are bad, because some of y'all know what y'all do. Some of y'all know you do it on purpose to them men. Now I know I got a room full of ladies now that's going to tell me, well, no man can be manipulated by women. Well, that's a damn lie. And there's a lot of women that know they manipulate men. There's a penitentiary full of dudes that wish they never would have met your ass. Trust me. There's a lot of dudes sitting in the penitentiary because they did some shit that the lady did. You say they ain't supposed to have no manipulation moves on you. You say that shit. But ladies manipulate men. And some guys are sitting in the penitentiary. There's some guys down in the Justice Center right now in Cincinnati that are there based on some shit they woman. Just like the Will Smith thing. They said, nah, why? She didn't make him do that. You're a fool. Y'all crazy if you don't think Jada had something to do with that shit. All right, let me move on. I ain't on that shit today. Y'all, Dominique say, so damn, you want to argue or something like that. She said, oh no, Wyatt, now you ready to argue. Nah, I ain't gonna argue. Matter of fact, I said what I had to say about it. And to be honest with you, the less I say, the less, the less you'll come back at me on. I don't feel like it today. Today might be one of them days you can get out the gate on me because I don't really feel it. I know I got a busy, long day, and I'm gonna be up I'm gonna be up tonight, and I just want to. I kind of know that I'm gonna be tired at the end of the day, so I'm reserving my energy. Meanwhile, the little bit of energy that I do have, I want to address a couple things. I hope E-Man is still here because he need to hear this. I don't know where that invitation did he send me. I don't know where that invite was. You sent it to the moon, bro, because I never got it. I never got it. I never got the invite because I wanted to defend. I didn't necessarily want to defend what I said because what I say is it doesn't need defense. Okay, and yesterday I was talking about why the Vivek Ramaswamy guy that's running for president on the Republican side, I was saying I don't know why people don't like him because of how he attacks both parties. He attacks both parties. He's letting y'all see how messed up the Republican Party is. And he doesn't even say anything about the Democratic Party. He'll say some things about the current president occasionally because of the debacle we have at the southern border and how it's hurting everybody. Yeah, he'll say something about inflation and because the leader is in charge of the things. And when inflation goes up, you got to put it on the current administration. No matter how it got there, why it's there, you just have to put it on them. And I got some blowback from E. Yeah, I was over on his platform and, look, I was like the opponent on the hometown field. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't win over there. I can't go over there and type some shit in the screen like we typing here now. I can't type nothing over there and win an argument. I can't go over there and say some real shit. Everybody in the world will sit and spin on everything that I say. I didn't got to the point where when I say something, it ain't even what I say. It's how I write it now. Somebody tripping out because I do what I do that I've been doing since I've been doing this. They tripping on the fact that I put quotation marks in my comments. Why is that important? Isn't what I say for you to agree or disagree? That's the conversation piece. Why is the fact how I write some shit? Why? That's how petty. See, when a motherfucker can't really debate you or really beat you, they have to try to antagonize you into some other argument shit, throw you off. Walking through a hall of mirrors, a room of mirrors and back doors and trap doors and shit like that. Well, you got to understand where I'm from. It wasn't called all of that, but we learn real fast and real easy how to maneuver through people's bullshit. All right. So when people ask me that, and it's always certain types of mindsets that ask me shit like that. How I write my comment, I don't understand why that's a big deal. As long as I'm not saying anything disrespectful, how I write my comment shouldn't even matter. If I say something like, "Oh, it's gonna be a sunny, nice day today," and then I put a bunch of tow trucks or police trucks or police signs or certain symbols behind it, I could see somebody saying, "Well, why do you put those police cars and trucks and sunshines and all that behind your comment? What are they? How relevant are they to what you just said? Can you explain that?" But asking me why I put quotes, and anybody know and everybody know that people who do certain things, we tend to have a signature. It comes in age, it comes in knowledge, it comes in stuff like that. And some people will think it's silly. Probably younger people would think it's silly. But to be honest with you, everybody does something that wants to draw attention to what they're doing. And that means, like, for instance, perm in a suit. Al Sharpton wore perms. He's been a perm head since the day we can remember. You ever seen Al Sharpton with an afro? I used to see him with a perm, 15 gold chains on, and a sweatsuit. That's the original big Al Sharpton. Let me see if I got something like that. Then he moved up to some. This the real Al Sharpton. That's the real Al Sharpton. This is the real Al Sharpton. The one you have today is one. He's an Al Sharpton like a 2.0, 3.0 or some shit like that. That's the Al Sharpton I grew up watching. Perm in a suit. His perm is his go-to. That's how people relate to him. That's his move. That's his thing. So when you're reading my comments, stay stuck on what the power of the words and not how the words are quoted. That's just my thing. All right, so E-Man says this. I skipped a few different comments, but they're going by so fast. Let me see. He says, "I agree with you, but the same thing happens to me on your platform. I had someone hoping my kids get hurt on here. Is that what it is? Nobody wanted your kids hurt, E. Stop playing. Stop playing. Don't do that. See, there you go, sitting spinning again. And nobody over here is as rough on you. See, you troll. I don't troll. You troll. Bro, I've seen your comments on Lincoln Ware show. I've seen your comments on my show. You troll. That is your thing. But as far as coming over here, people will say, you know who did it? You know who do that? You know who troll you on our show? The people that watch your show. Your own listeners, from this show, from Lincoln Ware show to your own show. My people don't troll you, bro. They don't say shit crazy until they might respond to some of your craziness, but then they'll fall back like, "Oh, he answered that shit with that. Let me cut it off." I just have somewhat of a different audience. I think my audience is, I don't want to say anything that's gonna hurt some feelings, but I just have more of a some of the people that listen here are just a little bit more mature in certain areas. You know, they're not as confrontational with certain topics. And that's the bottom line. And then here's the other thing, I will say this. I'll say this, bro. Some of the people that come over here and don't troll and kind of stay conservative with it, guess what? They get on your platform and act a fool. They get on Lincoln Ware Show and act a fool. But when they come over here, they kind of get a little different. Their persona is a little bit different. So it is what it is. DC says your audience is E-Man's audience. I don't know. I really don't know about that, DC. I know some of the people that watch my show, watch E-Man's show, and I've always tried to get them to go over and watch it, and a lot of them do. But and vice versa. Since I've worked with E, some of his listeners are now coming over here and watching, and they don't last long. They don't like what I say. They send me emails. I say emails. They send me DMs about how crazy I am and how stupid what I'm saying is saying. But that's okay. I have receipts for what I say. I can show progress to what I talk about, and I could show decline, and then I can show people that are standing still. Everything that I talk about is all about moving forward generally, but unfortunately, you got to kind of you hurt feelings sometimes when you talk truth. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I was a hustler, I could hustle. If I wanted to be a hustler, if I wanted to be somebody like Al Sharpton, I could do it. I really could do it. If I wanted to sit back and race bait and talk about the issues in the community and try to get everybody to send me $5 every week, or if I wanted to, I could do that shit. If I wanted to put up some Black Lives Matter t-shirts and hustle y'all, I could do it. I watch it all day, every day. If the only thing that I could do is explain why certain conditions, and I have to use the word racism, white supremacy, and shit like that all day, if that's all it takes to draw in attention, damn it, I could do that. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. You know what's hard to do? Is to overcome all that. Talk about it. I'm not a hope addict. I don't want to talk to hope addicts. I want to talk to people that's trying to get to the money. I want to talk to people who know we can get it. We going forward and we doing it. See, I that's just the difference. Everybody else, I listen to the Lincoln Ware Show. No offense. There's some people down there the people that think like us, they just don't say nothing. They just fall back and listen to the show. But listen to the callers. The callers say the same shit. They've been saying the same shit since I've been in the 3rd grade. They've been saying the same shit since I've been in the 3rd grade. And you know what they waiting for? You know the old saying, Jesus is coming? I ain't trying to laugh at the saying. I'm just being honest with you. Have you ever heard the word that Jesus is coming back? It took me, that's the one time I thought my grandmother was crazy. Granny, forgive me, rest her soul. She's in my house. She was cremated. So I keep my grandmother with me. All right. But now let me just say this. I think about my grandmother all the time. But she always told me Jesus is going to come back. Jesus is going to come back. And that's the only time I thought my grandmother was crazy. And y'all probably thinking, what's wrong with me right now? Because I'm thinking of my grandmother when she told me that shit. And I'm thinking to myself now, like, I was wrong because I didn't understand. You know how when people tell you something and you're not ready for it, you don't understand it yet? Well, that's one of them situations. My grandmother said, Jesus is coming back. And it took me forever. She never explained it. I'm one of them type of people that want to know, what the hell you mean by that? Like, I don't sit back and let you think I understand. I need to know what you talking about. So she said, well, if you don't get it, you'll get it one day. You'll know what I'm talking about, Rand. So I said, okay. So what I've learned, now this is my impression. If you learn Bible verse, whatever verse, all that old shit, if you know all that, that's fine. My impression, my interpretation of Jesus coming back is when your ass is dead. Like when you die. Now I could be wrong. Some of y'all might know, y'all might know you might know your real shit to this. But my real shit to this is this. Jesus is coming back once you leave earth, once you die. Now he's coming back to get you and he's going to see you again. And now you have to answer for your sins. You have to ask for permission, or you have to ask to be let in the gate of heaven and all that. So that's when Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back when you are leaving. Jesus ain't going to be walking through Eden Park one day or some shit like that. That ain't what people talking about. Now, I could be wrong. I'm just telling you my impression. Because when he come back, now you have to, you have to answer. And it took me a long time to really understand what that meant. And I just think that a lot of people live like that. A lot of people are waiting for Jesus to come back. And what I mean by that is y'all just waiting, y'all hope addicts. You just sitting back waiting for this government in your city to do you right so you can get to the money. And some of us don't look at it that way. The government is not going to get you rich. That you're not going to get rich off the government. The only way you're going to get rich off the government is if you get in politics. That's the only way you're going to get rich in the government. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. When I was talking about the Vivek Ramaswamy dude, I was trying to tell you, I'm watching black politicians get in Congress. They go from community council to city council to now some type of state representative. Are y'all clocking what's going on now? Clock it. Look at how y'all people moving in Cincinnati. Look at how they moving. And they keep graduating in politics. They keep getting to the money. And before you know it, you got a lady that was in city council like Cori Bush all the way up in Capitol Hill now making millions of dollars up there fussing and cussing and hollering about some people over in Palestine. See what I'm saying? That's the hustle. I could do that. I just choose not to. I don't want to do that. It's not I got mine a different way. I don't feel like I got to get mine off the back of my people. Let me see this. E-Man says, we have some overlap and my audience is overly aggressive. Your audience is more passive aggressive. Praying for bad stuff to happen to someone's family and stuff like that. See, that's a troll ass answer. Ain't nobody praying for something to happen to your kids. I think that conversation was like this. Why do I have to clean up something like this, bro? If somebody makes a comment to you and they say, I pray that nothing like that happens to your kid, that's not them praying that something happens to your kid. It don't even sound the same. That sound ridiculous. And see, that's the type of shit I'm talking about when when people are very, very much serious about what they talking about, and then you get a troll ass dude that come in and say some shit like that you in your mind, thinks makes some sense. Now, we need people like y'all. Let me tell you why you need people like He said it was sarcasm. Well, some people don't see your stuff as sarcasm. You got a tribe. You got a followership. Your followers think that you be serious sometimes. Let me tell you how I know that to be true, Yesterday, you went in on what I was talking about. You do that a little bit, but that's okay. I learn a lot from the people that agree with you. They never really can have any answers to the problem or answers to the solution. They just stay mad at the problem. Okay. And to be honest with you, that's common. And that's dog chasing the tail behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you're never going to fix it because you're too busy being mad at it. You're too busy trying to express and let everybody know how it happened. You know what I'm saying? And for some odd reason, that seems to be the go-to. So yesterday I was trying to tell y'all about how these politicians was getting rich off of what they were doing. And I was talking about how Republicans are getting rich. And we all know the same way Republicans get rich in Congress and with the government, the Democrats do too. The only difference is Democrat politicians use the people. They use the people to maneuver to get to the money. They do things like build and make you think that you need certain programs. And these same programs that bring in millions of dollars are only given 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Guess where the rest of that money go? And that's the part that y'all never talk about. You never talk about the people that's representing you, how dirty they are and what they doing to you. And they there for the sole purpose of making you feel like they fighting for you. Name one. Daryl says, you don't think the Republicans don't? Stop it. Wait a minute. I just said all politicians. And I just said Republicans, how they getting. Are you listening? I just said I was talking about all the Republicans. See, that's that divert shit. Y'all so busy trying to be Bloods and Crips and blaming on red and blue that y'all don't even hear shit right. Y'all don't even be listening. You too busy. You so defensive. This world, politics and politicians and Al Sharptons and MSNBCs and Fox and CNNs have y'all so much trying to fight points that you don't even have any gain from. You just stay on the defense. Okay, I'll tell you what. DC said, no, you said Democrat make money off the people. Didn't we have a show about this, about all politicians? We all know that all politicians are crooks, self-serving. Didn't we have that conversation? We said that all politicians are self-serving, right? We all agreed to that, right? A couple days ago, we all agreed that politicians are self-serving. Both Democrats and Republicans. We said that, right? Now, let me ask you, name one affiliation of raising money have the Republicans made by using the people? I can name a few to give you an example of what the Democrats have out here, that what they support, and they don't get none of the money. I can name a few. Democratic Party and its administration supported Black Lives Matter. How much money did the black folks get out of Black Lives Matter? Name. Now, okay, Anthony Prosser says this. Wyatt, Republicans cut social programs and redirect for tax cuts for the rich and friends for the rich and friends pork projects. Both sides get rich off everybody. We know that. But let me just ask you this. Do you really think that people are who's looking for the handout? Y'all answer that all you want to. You can put that. I don't want to talk about no politics because it's a very much divide in our community. And I just don't want to get involved in the divide. Those that want to ride with me on how to get to the money, come on and ride with me on how to get to the money. But I'm going to tell you something. It don't consist of the government. This might be the wrong show for you. I'm not going to sit here and show you how the Nikki Haley's, like Ramik Vimasani, like he told y'all yesterday at the debate. He's talking about them all. He's not necessarily talking about Republicans. He's talking about Republicans and Democrats. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get into the political thing of it all because it's not, politics don't work for black folks. And when you think it does, you've been fooled. And if you live in Cincinnati, you got egg on your face right now. You just discovered that the politicians that you vote for that are the same color as you don't have no power when it comes to the money. And they're Democrats. They don't have any power. And Alicia Reese keep telling y'all that every day. And y'all think, y'all patting her on the back for giving you some information that y'all late to the party. Man, we been knew that shit. Y'all just now catching up, and now you making it a white thing and a black thing and a Republican thing and a Democrat thing. The truth of the matter is the Democrat Party they control the money. They just give allowances. You can't be mad at nobody. Now you mad at a system of politics. If it was the Republicans that was controlling that $1.6 billion that y'all just sold the railroad for, you would say, see, them white Republicans always doing the money. They don't want us to have nothing. So now what do you say about the Democrat Party that's been controlling Cincinnati all this time, and you still crying about affordable housing? You crying about everything. I heard a dude today on the radio talking about how racist education was. Did y'all hear the Pharaoh dude? That's when I cut the radio off. Math is racist, Pharaoh? The English, math? So them learning geometry, them learning basic basic reading levels, all that shit is racist. All right. I mean, that's the type what I'm talking about. I mean, how do you get through to somebody like that? I mean, you never gonna eat. I mean, bro, listen. Don't act like I'm the only one that's seen that shit. Don't act like there's some people right now that don't even want to say shit like that dumbass motherfucker did say that shit. Damn. But now let me just say this to you. There's a reason. Okay. I see your brother in here doing what he do. I'm all right with it. But there's a reason. There's actually a reason why people do what they do over and over and over and over again. E-Man says, my position is that both parties don't like us. And that's what you said yesterday. That's what you said yesterday. You said that the Republicans are more racist than the Democrats. I'm trying to understand, how could one be more racist than the other? Racism is racism in my book. Racism is racism in my book. So I'm just trying to, so one killer is better than the other killer? One killer stabs you with a knife, the other one shoots you with a gun. Which killer is better? Do I get to decide? I decide if I want to get shot. So the one who stabs me is a better killer. He an easier killer than the one who shoot me with the gun. Got you. I don't get it. Hey, if you don't like the show, feel free to exit left. Feel free to exit left. That's all I can tell you. It ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't stuck in the 60s. Everybody ain't stuck thinking that Democrats are the greatest thing on the planet. Everybody ain't stuck saying the same thing over and over and over again. We trying to do different shit over here. Bottom line. Bottom line. I'll give you some time to leave if you like. How much control did they have over that $1.6 billion? How much control? Why is the NAACP mad right now? Let me bring up another thing. Everybody in Ohio, y'all just felt like a win because you won the smoke shops, you won the weed, you won that route, right? Right? You won the weed. So now, did y'all see the articles today? Did y'all see the articles of the companies that are coming in, like here from Florida? Did you hear that all the smoke shops? These are companies that have already been established. These are companies that have already been established, and they've already been put in place to come in here and take up all the money. So what did you think they was going to allow us to do? Open up all these shops, these grow shops? That stuff was already planned. It was already there. And once again, we become customers to what somebody going to make hundreds of millions of dollars from. We didn't even remember when Iris Rowley and them was saying we need to put a plan together. We need to put something together. We need to have our own stuff. We need to have, if y'all gonna sell the railroad, the reason why y'all kept us out of it, is because we couldn't get any money out of it. Remember that? And now they done sold a 1.6 piece of land, $1.6 billion worth of land. What are we getting out of it? Sad. We had this conversation 2 years ago. Sad. Happy Friday, Tiffany Daniels. What's good with you? DC says, so those are going to be the only owners throughout all of Ohio. You'll see who the suppliers are. They're already lining up. They're already starting to hit the news articles. They're already showing some of the companies that are coming in. And here's the thing. They have the resources. They have the resources that we don't have. They have the resources that we don't have. Let me see. Somebody said something about the Republican Party, like I push the Republican Party. I just don't do what the radio does. Jason said, shit, I'll grow my own and sell it. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to do a little bit of that. You'll be able to do a little bit of that. But now here's what's going to happen. You know you're supposed to pay taxes on it, right? Yeah. So if you're sitting back, I think you can have up to 4 ounces, what, 2 ounces or something like that on your personal. I think the tax is 10%. So when you start selling and you're not paying taxes on it, there's a charge. They'll be looking at you. Nathaniel Livingston says Black Cincinnati is getting millions of dollars every year to fix up infrastructure. That's what the community is getting from the 1.6 billion. Does the Black community feel that way? Does NAACP feel that way? Does Damon Lynch and them feel that way? It's funny how every time the Black folks benefit from something, everybody else does too. Do they feel that way? So those Black people streets, them Black people parks, oh, that's Black people water that they about to clean up. What did Black people get out of that economically? And that's what the Black community was asking for, right? Stephanie Hyde. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Emmanuel saying to Stephanie. I don't know who the lady was. I just know she was being insincere. I don't know what that's about. They still haven't cleared everything yet. They said by March 2024, LaDonna said. No. No, you said no? 2.5. What is that, Vincent? Grant, 2.5 ounces? And Jason Dockery said, yes, it is 10%. It's a 10% tax. Got you. Nathaniel Livingston says, Black voters apparently agree with this. Maybe so. I bet you a lot of them weren't informed. They weren't informed about it. They didn't have the same intentions. They weren't looking to do the same thing that Black Cincinnati or what NAACP and some of the Black leaders in Cincinnati was asking for. They weren't on board with that. And they took the meetings of the railroad, they put them in the neighborhoods. And you can go back and look at the track record. They'd already said that most of Black folks that lived in those neighborhoods didn't even show up for those meetings. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Cincinnati is not the only place in Ohio. Cincinnati was competing for, Ohio is a pretty big state. So you got to look at all the cornfield people. You got Cleveland, Columbus. You got a lot of different places that voted on this. On the weed thing. I'm talking about the weed thing, not the railroad thing. On the weed thing. And a lot of people had this they had this misinterpretation that they were going to be able to start their own businesses off of this. And I guarantee there's going to be some regulations of how much you can grow. And there's going to be some things going on where when people are overgrowing stuff, they're going to regulate it. They're going to regulate it. You're not going to be able to get rich off of it. Those dispensaries are coming in, and those are the ones. Here's the thing: it turned into a snitch game. When the dispensaries find out that certain people growing stuff, they're going to tell on you. You're interrupting their business. They're gonna tell on you. So Nathan Livingston says, oh, so because they don't agree with you, they aren't informed. Got it. I'm talking about the weed people. Of course they weren't all informed. You live in Ohio. What all do you know about it? Anybody? Does everybody know about the weed thing? I'm talking about the people that want to do the business of it. I'm talking about the business end of it. All the information isn't even out. They don't have, it's just legal. But as far as producing and reselling and all of that, they don't even have all the rules out. They tell you how much you can have on it personally, but you got people that voted on it anticipating being able to open a business that's affiliated with weed. And they don't know what the regulations are going to be on the retail side of it or growing it. They only put the part out of what you can have personally. But there were people under the impression. I played a video yesterday of the brother from Chicago who said, look at all this. We got all these weed dispensaries and stores in Chicago, in Illinois, and 90% of them are owned by white people. You can't tell me that some Black people didn't vote for legalizing weed in Illinois and they thought they were going to be able to function a business. We got us a new one. We got what was that guy? Glenn from Mason. That's what Nathaniel Livingston is. That house had to be something else between Nate and Emmanuel going at it. That had to be something. And to be honest with you, Nate, I used to agree with you a whole lot because you used to attack the forces. You used to say some things, but you're a little bit different now, bro. It's something about you that's a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to what I do, and I'm not going to get into what you do because what you're doing is a little bit different than what you used to do. I don't get it, but that's okay. It ain't for me to get. Sometimes I understand in order to be something, you got to step on something. And I just ain't going to be that guy that you step on. I got too much shit going on in my life that's real. I ain't going to let you step on me, brother. It ain't going to happen. And I'm not going to hate on you. And I'm not going to dislike you because of your opinions. But I'm more than a Republican and a Democrat talking point. I don't need that to be able to do anything. Let's talk about getting to the money. You know anything about getting to the money? Let's talk about that. Let's lead all that other stuff along. Yesterday, Eve said something about excuses. He said that what I was talking about Vivek Ramaswamy, and this isn't this, I'm going to take it away from politics. I just want to decipher the two things between excuses and accountability. If I walk into a locker room because my team is down by 15 in a basketball game, when I walk into the room, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Daryl said, I'm pretty sure. He said there are some in Michigan. All right, well, hopefully it'll be more like Michigan and not Illinois. Illinois has a track record of how they did their dispensaries. If I walk into a room, into the locker room, and we're down by 15 points, as a coach, when I'm yelling at my team, I'm not going to yell at my team. If I'm yelling at my team, I'm going to yell at them at what we're doing wrong and why we're not winning. I'm not necessarily making up excuses of why we're not winning. I'm explaining to my team how we need to execute to be able to do things better, to do things different. Okay, how we need to run our plays, how we're not playing defense properly. Whatever we did to get us in a 15-point deficit, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not making up excuses. So we're going to have to learn how to decipher between excuses and accountability. So if I'm trying to tell my guy that he's not guarding number 3 properly, I'm not making up excuses for him. I'm just bringing up accountability. He has to do better. He has to perform better. He has to play better defense on this dude. That's all I'm saying. So when the Vivek Ramaswamy dude is coming in and he's criticizing the Republican Party, he's not necessarily making up excuses. He's like telling what the coach would do in order for them to do things better. It works the same way. If y'all had somebody that was criticizing Joe Biden in the front in front of everybody, I wouldn't say that they're making up excuses for him. I would say that they're criticizing what he's doing mainly because they're trying to get him to do right or do better, holding him accountable. So there's a fine line between excuses and accountability. But for me personally, I think excuses are different. You trying to explain why. An excuse is when you're trying to give reason of why you can't do something. That's what it is. And accountability is, okay, I'm going to show you how you're not getting this done, but now I got to fix it. I'm showing you how to fix it. That's showing accountability. An excuse is saying, hey, I can't do this, or no, I didn't do that. And you're making up excuses of why you couldn't get it done. And I don't think that's what he was doing. I really don't. Nathaniel says, I've only hold on, screen. He said, I've only ever listened to you a few times before. Have you talked about getting to that money? Yes. The 55 to 160 million a year. What is that? 55 to 160 million. No, he wasn't, E. There's a difference. Calling people out of telling why they're not winning and showing how they are deceptive to the people and how they started out being in debt. Like he told, what's her name? Nikki Haley. You're in debt. You were in debt. Your credit was shot. You were in debt. And then you go take this UN job and you get on with Boeing and you use your political influence and now you're rich. That's not making up excuses. That's holding her accountable. And she didn't deny it. She turned red in the face. I don't understand why y'all not happy about him exposing it. Democrats and Republicans should be proud of that move. These guys are up there getting rich off the people, both Republicans and Democrats, by how they move. They move with the money. I don't understand why y'all don't see it that way. And instead, y'all so defensive and trying to defend your end of the field that we can't even get to the middle of the field and see what's really fair. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And it's just funny how we have become so divided that we want to tear each other apart and talk about and try to tear each other's points apart so nobody else will understand or get it. That's all I'm saying to you. Why? I just don't get that. Y'all just don't want to like somebody so bad that no matter what they say, they wrong because you feel like they're attacking your party when that man did absolutely nothing but go up against Republicans. He even blamed the RNC leader. He even blamed that person, that lady, like, you ain't doing your job. We nothing but a loser. Emmanuel said, he said the Republicans are losing because of the chair of the party is. No, that wasn't the only reason. But let me finish. He brought that up, but that was not the only reason. If your Bengals are 2-6 or 2-14 or 2-15, we have every right to blame the leader. They did it for years. That's not making up an excuse because we losing. Sometimes it's facts. Sometimes it's a fact that your leader is the reason why you losing. Sometimes it's just a fact. And if it's not a fact, maybe it's not just maybe the players are dropping the ball. Maybe they fumbling the ball. Maybe they're not making the field goals. Maybe it's something like that. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this. It's up to the leader to make sure they catch the ball. He or she has to keep that person motivated. And if you're not going to be held accountable for the leadership, then don't be a leader. And if you can't handle to be called out by being a leader, then don't be the leader. It's not meant for you. Nathaniel Livingston said 55 to 160 million a year is the predicted amount of money that will be made from the choo-choo train trust fund. How you talk about black people can get that money? How did you talk about black people can get that money? Have you talked about how black people can get that money? No, nobody showed. Yes, I did. You probably weren't here. But one of the things that I discussed, Nate, I'm going to direct this to you. When I heard Iris Rowley and them and Damon Lynch and them talking, I understood where they were coming from. But I think Emmanuel understands what I'm going to say. Some probably get it. I said you can't just come in asking for reparations. What does reparations look like? It has to have a blueprint. It has to make sense. And you got to put something on the table, Nate, where they can deny it. You can't just come to the table and say reparations. That's not going to work. You got to have something in concrete. So one of my ideas, my personal ideas was, why don't they set aside out of this sale $400 million to bring in black banking in the Cincinnati area? There's several black banks that you can allocate to the area, commit $400 million in capital to them, and it'll turn the black dollar. It allows black business loans, black mortgages, car loans, loans for school, for colleges. It rotates the dollar. And that's one of the things the black community don't do. That's what we've been doing we've been losing in that area for decades. Decades. Now, let me just ask you this. A lot of money, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars go to the public school systems. And black kids are predominantly in the public school systems. Now, let me explain something to you, Nate. For us to be receiving so much money in our public school systems from Cincinnati all the way to Baltimore, do you really think that the public schools, the black kids that are going to public schools are getting a good education? Do you think that they're getting everything that they need? Do you think there's a problem with a 30% proficiency reading level, with a 78% percentile of graduation? But they're getting all the money and resources. They get the money they need to be functional. And the one thing I told my listeners was this. I think it's intentional. It's intentional. I think there's a reason why they don't have a strong hold on the education system. Because I think that the more you teach people, the more they learn about financial literacy, the less they are to get captured up in the things that they're getting captured in. I just think it's intentional. So my idea was Black Bank. Come to the city. It's something that can be a continuous use to the Black community. It gives you something that you can call your own. It gives you ownership. It gives you pride. It gives you something. But a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people just want the dollar. And if you don't have a plan for your dollar, the plan is your dollar will step away from you. So if you don't have a blueprint, and this is what I said it when when Iris Rowley and Damon Lynch and the NAACP were all trying to get some of this money from the railroad sale. I just didn't see how they were trying to sell it other than to just bring it to the public and not have any substance behind it. So yeah. But now if you asking me the $55 to $160 million that train gonna make in interest in the Black community, how can they get to that money? It's over with. It ain't going to the Black community like any other money that's gone to the Black community. It's not going there. And y'all can sit back and hope, sit back and wait, but it's not going there. It's not going. So, I mean, as much as I would love for it to, it's not gonna happen. And you can hold your breath and wait for it, but decade after decade, mayor after mayor, it's been proven. Aftab is my favorite mayor. I've said that how many times on this show, y'all? But I'm gonna tell you right now, Aftab gonna be long and gone and be doing his DC thing or his state house thing, and Cincinnati gonna be where it's at. Black Cincinnati gonna be where it's at. Bottom line. Let's see here. Emmanuel said, I was just asking for information. I will let it go if you will. Okay, y'all must be sidebarring over there. Black Fox, what's good, sister? She said they burn our banks down. Been about to check says Nathan over here just to hate and be negative. This ninja don't even live in Cincinnati. I know he don't live in Cincinnati, but I don't care. I mean, that don't matter. I mean, you know, if you could deal with Glenn from Mason, you can deal with that. So that it's no big deal. Black Not Democrat, what's up, Drop? He says campaign finance system allow influence buying and selling by donors and office holders. A flood of secret money from influence seekers and participants in federal elections work around. I don't know why they don't. I don't know. I don't know why they don't see that. I mean, you could see it in donations in some of the local stuff, not in Cincinnati, but if you look at some of the local mayorships and some of the ways they've been getting in trouble. I'm going to do a show on Monday, Drop, about a couple, mayors. One is in Illinois. Sorry, hold on. One is in Illinois. Wait till you hear the campaign situation they got going on. Okay, Nathan says this. He says, there you have it. Wyatt has no plan on how Black people can get to the money. He's doing exactly what the critics he's doing exactly what he criticized others for doing earlier in the show. Black banking wasn't a plan. I'm sorry, did you log off and then come back on, Nate? He says, by the way, a bring back a new black bank is good idea. Now what? If anything, are you doing to make it happen? Listen, they ask ideas. I don't want to get into what I've done for my city. I can guarantee it's probably more than some of the things that the people you love and respect have done. Nate, I suggest you learn about me, brother, before you come over here talking. I'm not a, let me go to the beginning of Wyatt Live 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I'm not a radio dude. Okay? Check my record. Go to your people in your city, them circles of the people you know, and them names and all that old shit that y'all play games and names and rhyme and nursery rhyme with. You'll learn that I'm official. Now, here's the thing. They don't necessarily know me like that because I don't need to know them. I'm self-made. I'm a self-individual. I don't need them. So I don't play their games. I don't do coffee with them. I don't fuck with them like that. But I don't need none of them. I don't kiss none of their asses. Now, when they ask for ideas of what could happen with the money, my idea was if you want to keep a revolving door of money in the black community and not be bullshitted, you have to bring an outside entity with no ties to the Cincinnati privileged, both black and white. And you got to make it black owned. And when you're talking about car loans, stop giving your money to Fifth Third Bank. Stop giving it to PNC Bank. When you're talking about mortgages, stop giving it to Wells Fargo. Stop giving it to these people. You got to be able to touch your money more than one time. You got to stop being a customer. You got to generate your own economic wealth. And the way you do that is the way they did it, through banking and insurance. So that's how you stay getting to the money. That's how you do it. Now, if you want to convince the people that it can't be done, then fine. Start a podcast and tell them we doomed and gloomed and the shit can't happen. Just do that. But for me, my goal is to show people how it can be done, and we got to talk about it. But if you know what, showed you like this. It wasn't even an option for my people. It wasn't even an option for the Democrats in Cincinnati. It wasn't even an option. The NAACP, all of them, they all was like, what you gonna do, a $1.6 billion acquisition and not include us in a conversation? That shows you the level of respect that was there. None. They selling buildings they paid $2 million for. They selling them for $1. You got local politicians that just got indicted for backdoor dealing and doing Nucky Thompson type shit, and you're going to sit here and tell me they give a fuck about Democrats in the city of Cincinnati when it's their own people that's doing it. You got people literally that went up in smoke and crashed and burned with PG Sittenfield, who pretended to like the black community, used us. See, here's the thing, Nate. What I'm saying is facts. Anybody there's people over here that disagree with me. There's people that disagree with me all the time, Nate. The only difference is they're not afraid to say anything to me about it. DC go challenge me. AP challenge me. I can name a few that challenge me. The only problem is people that go over to the radio and challenge y'all. When you get to talking that old fake ass shit over there that y'all been speaking for decades, when y'all talk that type of shit, you know what happens? Now they become outcasts. That person becomes an outcast. I can't even go over there and say nothing that opposes what they say because I become names. I become all these different names. It ain't about knowledge. It ain't nothing about what you may have been to achieve in your life. It's nothing how you started from. It ain't none of that. I become a name. I become some type of you shame people who oppose what they've been saying over and over again. See, the difference is, brother, you got 30 years or 40 years or 50 years of consistency of what you're talking about right now. That's the proof. That's all I need. See, I can keep on talking, but I'm gonna say less because the actions show. You just had a $1.6 billion acquisition that's not gonna do nothing. You know how they advertise why they needed that money? They advertised they needed that money and they put a bunch of black people in the advertisement by talking about we need clean water, we need parks, and we need better firehouses. They ain't said nothing about how Cincinnati gonna make money. The people. The people. And then when they get people like, what is it, Stefan, who talk about all the money and where it's going and this and that, they call him crazy. Don't nobody want to hear what he got to say because when he start talking about the people getting played for the money, then that means accountability has to start to become talked about. You got to start talking about the accountability. And what's crazy about this is former mayors, all of them Democrats in Cincinnati, are on an appointed board. They control the money. They control the money. Your local Democrats currently in spot can't even control the money. They get an allowance. We're going to give y'all this, and if this happens, we're going to give y'all that. We're going to break y'all off this, we're going to break y'all off that. That's pacifying the people. What do you think, Charlie Luken love black folks? I know y'all think that. PG Sinfield loved black folks. He was part of the move too. He was going to be the next Charlie Luken. He was going to be the mayor, and then he was going to get on these boards. They was going to control the money, and they was going to make as much money that come in from the government, and they was going to have all the contracts. They was going to lay it out. He was going to Nucky Thomas Cincinnati. He says, if you read your comments, you will see that it isn't just the radio. People who listen to talk do it all on all platforms. They try shame people who don't agree with them. It happens on every platform. I'm not suggesting that it don't. I'm not suggesting that it don't. But let me just be honest with you. You and I both know from experience that most of the people that go on the radio, they have a consistent group. What's his name? The Marcus Jenkins. Now, I know Marcus Jenkins from Facebook. I know Marcus Jenkins from whatever, Facebook or whatever, these platforms. Never met him. Excuse me. Never met him before. And I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but let's be honest. Between Marcus Jenkins and the White Lion, is that his name, White Lion? Do you think that do you really think that they representatives of the Republican Party over there talking the way they talk? They get to talking about the gay stuff and you know what I'm saying? Y'all calling people out of the names and all that. Like that's not really a fair evaluation of how all people who might be conservative think. They don't all think like that. They don't bring that type of behavior over to the platform over there. So I think that it's a level. There's people that go over there to the radio and make phone calls because they can get the attention over there. And they don't mind playing the radio games. They don't mind playing the back and forth, being called names. I think they kind of get a kick out of it. I think it's like a daily project, something that they can get kicks and giggles out of. But then if you ever have a serious caller calling over there to say something about how things are going, that person gets attacked. And I think that's what slows down people from coming in with reasonable conversations, because when you have a gallery of people that are going to disapprove of what you're saying, and then you get called names and things of that nature, you'll never really get a balanced listening audience or a balanced opinion, differences of opinion, because people don't want to deal with that. Excuse me. People don't really want to deal with that. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Y'all have to excuse me, man. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What up, Wyatt? This your West Coast connection.
Hey, what's going on, Drop? How you feeling, brother?
Oh, I'm feeling good, man. I was just sitting here listening to you for the last half hour, reading Emmanuel's comments, and all I got to say, bro, you just got to stay at it. You got to forget about whoever this new guy is in your chat.
I'm not
You
worried
just
about
got to forget, because I'm telling you, it's people. This is what they do for a living, Wyatt. They surf the web. They follow the algorithms. Just like when I first found Nathan Ivey back in 2017 or 2018, I typed in Black Republican and his podcast popped up. And we all know Nate is not a Black Republican. But what I'm saying, the whole goal is to discourage and deter and to to silence or to drown out voices like yours, whether it be on the radio, Facebook, just like Emmanuel said. It's 2023. It's a whole lot of other places that people listen to other people talk other than the radio. Because to be honest, and Emmanuel knows this, AM, FM radio is pretty much dead. It is what it is. But it's people like you that have the voice now. You ain't no professional radio broadcaster, but you are a Black man who has been through the system. And one last thing, this dude, he talking about, well, you not telling Black people how to get the money. Wyatt, these desperate Democrats, they know these programs exist, but they never make sure that people take advantage of them, or they get upset because Black people don't. Because you cannot make the group comply. It's the individuals within the group, like you, like me, like Emmanuel, like AK-47, like all the other people. I can't see the chat right now, but like all the other people, Wyatt, I don't care what program is out there for a group. It's the individuals within the group that have to get off their ass and learn what they need to do to access the money. Because if they don't, these corrupt ass politicians,
they're gonna take it.
There you go.
And that's listen, bro. Look, man. Look, let me explain something to you, okay? This will help. This will help. The guy that you're talking about, his name is Nathaniel Livingston.
Okay.
That's Emmanuel Livingston's brother.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so
it makes sense now.
Okay, yeah. So you got to understand, like, he's a guy like you. Okay, when it comes down to podcast radio, he's a radio dude his whole life, basically. I don't know what he does for a living. That's here or there, but he's been following radio. I mean, I knew him before I knew E-Man, before I knew Emmanuel. Like, I used to listen to what they were talking about on the one and only Black radio station. You got to understand, bro, Cincinnati only has one Black radio station, and it's always been that way since I can remember as a child. So there's only one voice, one interpretation, one narrative, and that's what they live off of. They've never really had a lot of and for some odd reason, the opposition that gets on the radio and talk, they never really have a real good representation. It's always some character with a cape on or some guy that's really trying to, explain things.
Why? Because Wyatt, they have call screeners. They control what gets on the air. That's what I told Emmanuel. I called his show. I'm like, bro, you was on air 20 years. How many times you debate with people like me? And he said, wait a minute, 1 or 2, 3. Because they don't let my voice, your voice get in. Because once they hear us, if we slide in, we ain't getting in no more. That's why I love the Nathan Ivey show. That's why I love your show. That's why I love the podcasts that are out there, because it's not corporate radio. They can control what people hear.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, because I understand where you're coming from, but I got to give the radio the benefit of the doubt. Because I think that if people would call that had different perspective, like, for instance, if I call, I don't think that the radio would block my call. Okay, the person, the screener, if that's what you want to call them, they wouldn't block my call. But me, I don't want to call because listen, bro, I'm not going to sit there and try to describe, I'm not going to try to beat a dead horse when it comes down to the subjects, because when you have people that have been convinced and they think a certain way, no matter how much you put in front of them of what's going on right in their eyes, they don't see it that way. There's always a hope. And the hope is always, we have a new administration. We have this. Give this person some time. It's always been that way. It's always that way. And people that got some sense, and I don't mean this for the radio listeners who call over there, but some people that are more on the end of knowing how this shit is really going, they're not necessarily trying to call into no damn radio station because they don't want to be bothered with it. Okay, there's certain makes and models of people like Drop, like myself, like Emmanuel, like Nate. We get involved. We are into this, but there's a lot of people that can represent conservative people. There's a lot of people that can represent Republicans and can represent Democrats a little bit better than all of us, but they don't involve themselves in this. You see what I'm saying? They don't involve themselves in what we're doing.
And a lot of times, why? It's because they know how the system works. Like me, I love engaging on the radio because I used to call it back in the day. But like I said, they'll make you wait on hold to just, wear you down, make you hang up. Or when you do get on, you've been waiting for an hour to get on, and then they cut you off once they start hearing stuff that they don't want other people to hear.
Well, yeah, I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen. But
and that's why I'm telling you now, Wyatt, these national presidential campaigns are spending 60, 70 billion dollars, Wyatt, because it's harder than it used to be. Back in the day, all they got to do, go to the barbershop, go to the beauty shop, go to the local radio station, go to the local newspaper, go to the local politicians, and they good. But now, oh no, they got to go get the Cardi B's. They got to go get the influencers on social media because that's where the people are now. So again, bro, all I got to say is Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's why I'm retired. Wyatt Live, you keep doing what you're doing, brother. Everybody else, y'all be safe in them streets because it's about to get hectic out here in these political streets.
Hey, quick thing. You still got the grandbaby?
Huh?
You still got your grandkid?
Yeah, he right here trying to butt in. He see me on the phone, but he cool right now. Oh yeah, he only had one little outburst.
When you going back to California?
Yeah, I'm leaving Monday morning. My daughter be back Sunday.
Okay.
From Mexico. I mean Saturday. Then she turned around and going to some other little concert or something. I don't know. So,
well, enjoy.
But
enjoy
yeah,
your
I'm leaving Monday morning.
Well, I'm up against the hour, bro. I'm about to get out of here because I'm going to Cincinnati. And you be safe. Have safe travels over the weekend going back to California. I appreciate you. Thanks for dropping in and engaging with us today.
All right, you too, bro. Peace out.
Brother. Same to you. Yeah, that's Drop Squad 52 out of California. Yeah, I'm not trying. I'm up against the hour, guys. I'm about to get out of here because I got to rush to get out. But let me just say this to you. I'm not trying to insult anybody about radio or podcast or anybody else. It's not a matter of that. What it is, it's just not friendly fire. When you go onto a radio station and you have a difference of opinion, certain markets, certain people just go at you. And then they start calling you names and insulting you and all that. And some people will be like, well, you need better skin than that. I'm not referring to me not being able to handle it. I'm talking about people that may have different perspectives and might be able to bring some truth to what's being said. And if that's the case, they don't want to deal with whatever criticism comes with those phone calls or the position that they have. They don't really want to deal with it because they have really good information. But yet it's the criticism and the name calling and the shaming. And that happens on both sides. It's just like if a black guy who's a Democrat calls 700 radio in Cincinnati, 700. And he has the perspectives of like Glenn from Mason did. Glenn could handle it. R.I.P. to Glenn. He had the skin to handle the criticism from the white conservative radio station. And he would hammer and hammer and hammer. He could do that. But now a lot of people who have his same thoughts and think how he think couldn't call and make those points because they wouldn't be able to handle the criticism or the blowback that's coming from them. Well, it happens with our radio station as well. Not everybody who has a solid, reasonable point at what they're trying to make can handle the blowback from the chat, from the crowd, or from the next caller that's going to call in and tell that person that he's a coon or a Tom or whatever. They can't handle that. They'd rather just fall back. And what I've learned in doing this a short period of time and understanding how radio works, what I've learned is most people who watch and listen, in this case, watch now, but listen over all these years, 90% of the people don't even engage in the show. They just listen. And that's kind of, how it works. 90% of the people that's engaging in the they don't even engage. They just listen to what's going on, and that's it. So listen, I'm going to get on up out of here because I'm running low on my time. And I just want to let y'all know, look, the bottom line is we need to start working together. You got Democrats and Republicans that are now exposing one another for what's going on. And you see that there's a group of people now forming some no label conference or this party, no tag or no label, I believe it is, no label. I mean, I don't care how radical you think these people are. I'm even willing to listen to what they're talking about. I'm willing to listen. How do they have my best interest at heart? What do they know about the party they just left? What can they expose about that party that can maybe bring something to the table and make us maybe work together and say, hey, you know what? I don't like how they're working. I don't like how the Democrats are doing things. I don't like how the Republicans are doing things. I don't like that. So, we need to have alternative measures. That's what I think. I just think we need to just stop going one way and we need to at least start listening. And when we do get differences of opinions, I don't think there should be a lot of name calling and all that type of stuff. That's going to be a deterrent. That's going to be a deterrent from people coming up, giving differences of opinions. You're not going to hurt the feelings of Marcus Jenkins calling into the radio. You're not going to hurt his feelings, calling him names and all that old shit. That don't bother him at all. You're not going to hurt, what's the white dude name? White Lion or whatever. You're not going to hurt those guys' feelings. They used to it. They kind of probably absorb it. They love it. So just relax. Relax. I think it's more about what can we do? Because if we sitting back waiting for the government to get it, if you waiting for the government to get it to us, it ain't gonna happen. If you think that getting the roads fixed for us and all that old stuff is Black achievement, stay with it. Stay with it. Hold on one second. We need to move. Yeah, that's what I say, Black Fox. Mama Birch says, yeah, late, Nate, you're late. It's over. Nathaniel Livingston says, reply to God. He says, he isn't answering the phone, Daryl Carpenter. Isn't this what they say corporate radio does? Bro, call back. Call back. Now I got to get out of here because I'm up against the hour, but I got to go. I'm coming to Cincinnati. Unless you want to hold it till Monday. I got 3 minutes. E-Man, are you going on at 3:00? E-Man, are you going on? He must be gone. Let me see something. He might be on already. Yeah, he's on, y'all. Go over and check E-Man out. Nathaniel Livingston, feel free to call me on Monday. Whatever. I'll hold it till Monday. Okay, hold it. Hold it. Peace and love, everybody. I'll let you.